Hi, I'm 27 and I am broke. Man, I'm broke. Man, I am so broke that I am so broke. But I'm here to do something about it. I want to change all that. I'm 27 and I'm broke and I want to change it. I want to do something about it. Let me just put it down. Let me just put it down. I am 27 and let me just put it in red and broke to show that it's dangerous. No. Nobody wants to be broke. Nobody wants to have no money, right? So I'm 27 and I'm broke. But my goal is to be a billionaire. I want to be a billionaire. Dead serious. And I know I'm going to be a billionaire. So this year, I'm recording it, say, I want to be a billionaire. So billionaire, so I'll put it like this, billionaire, right? So billionaire. So I want to be a billionaire. So in order for me to be a billionaire, it means in my bank account, I need to have at least 9 zeros. So I need to have at least 9 zeros. So 9 zeros makes me a billionaire, right? So the question is not how to get from 0 rand to billion rand. That's not the big question. So the big question is, how on earth are you 27 and broke? How are you 27 and broke? How did you become broke? That is the big question. How did you become broke? Well, I'll tell you why. The reason why I got broke is because of this. Job. So okay, I'm lying. It's not a job. I'm very grateful for my job. It's not my job that made me broke. It's because of my stupidity. So my stupidity got me broke. So I'll tell you what. So I was very stupid with money. So I was never savvy. So I was never savvy with money. So I would say unsavvy, if there's such a word. But anyway, I was not savvy with money. So I'll just spend money the way I see it. So, it would mean whatever I desired, I would go after it. So whatever I was craving, I would go after. Whatever I wanted, I would go after. Because now I got a job, right? So because job will give you money, and money will give you access. So now that I have access to things, right? So it means I can have them anytime, anyway I want. So I have access and it means I can have this. So now the reason why I'm saying I became stupid is because of my math. Math. Very simple. Math. Math is the biggest thing for me. I mean, I can do math in class. I can solve for X, I can solve for Y, I can do those simultaneously. It's not a problem. I can even do integration, even by parts. I can do integration by parts. I can do elimination, the matrices. I can do all that. But when it came to real life math, it doesn't matter whether you were 85 years old, or you're 27, you were 4 years old, whether you're black or white, whether you maroon, yellow, or whether you a woman or a man, it doesn't matter, because this is the fundamental of it all. So math is actually the ability, it's not just the numbers, it's the ability to see the end before the transaction. So before you make the transaction, you need to see how it ends. You need to see the consequences of your transaction. So how will this affect me? How will this affect my finances if I make this transaction? You see, that's the reason why I actually became broke. So I was never good with my math. I was just, spending recklessly. But, how did I spend this, this much? How did I become broke? That's the big question. How did I become broke? So I'll tell you, it has to do with the emotions. It has to do with the emotions. So the emotions, how they got into play, it was cash versus credit card. It was cash versus credit card. You see, me, I'm like, as soon as I got the job, right? So you're like, man, I'm too civilized. I no longer carry cash. man, I swipe, I just go to the machine like, tick, tick, or some nowadays we say we want, it's like you can use your phone, Samsung Pay or Apple Pay, whatever, Huawei Pay, all the stuff, like, so just go with your phone and then just put it there and then you get whatever you want, right? So credit card versus cash. So I was never using cash, so I will use credit card for almost anything. I mean, if I need a bottle of water, it's like 6 rand, right? So I will swipe because I didn't have cash on me and I wanted it. So simply because I'm working and I'm working so damn hard, I deserve a break. I deserve to spoil myself. That's how I like mentally console myself. When I'm spending. So I was like, I'm working goddamn hard, so I need to spoil myself. I need to relax. I need to take a break. I need to work on myself. I'll work all this month long. I need to be happy. I should be happy. Of course, you should be happy, right? You deserve it. You worked hard, but people work so damn hard. So credit card. So I'll just swipe. I'll swipe and swipe and swipe and swipe. So yeah, I wouldn't use cash. So I remember, in my college days, I needed a credit card. I couldn't get it. So the only credit card that I could get was the limit of 500. So it was the limit of 500. So that's like the only thing that I could get. So now that I got a job, I could afford it and I could have access to it. So I could have access to the things that I couldn't have with the 500. So now I'm on like, 20,000 or whatever. So I could have anything at any time, whatever I want. So the reason why I got broke. So now, let me just break down. So, because some people will be confused. What is cash? What is credit card? Like, what does that have to do with the emotions? What does that have to do with the emotions? Very simple. When we are like humans, right? So when you give someone, and they give you something in return, right? So you are emotional connected to the so you feel like you're part of it. So you feel like you're a part of that transaction because you are giving something and they're giving you something back. So you give and you receive. So at that moment, so it's cash. So you're taking out the cash and then they give you the product. Then at that moment you feel like you are losing this money, but at the same time it feels good to receive the product. So at some instance, at most of the cases, they will give you the change, right? Doesn't matter what change is. So change is very important. So they will give you a change. So they give you a change, right? So with the credit card, it's a different story. So let me just, give you a scenario before, I go all empty-handy on you, right? So we have cash and we have credit card. So with the cash, let's say maybe we go to McDonald's, right? So I have 100 rand, $100. So I go to McDonald's. I said, McDonald's, I'm looking for a burger. Right? So for me, I'll prefer McFeast Deluxe. So I'll have the Deluxe, right? So I'll pop the 100 rand. So I'll go to the teller. I say I want McFeast Deluxe. So she'll be like, do you want with the double cheese or whatever? So I'll be like, no, man, because I'm in my mind, I'm thinking, I have 100 rand and I need some change, right? I need some change. So I'm looking at the price. I'm like, okay, I need some change. I need to keep it that way, right? So, I'll go there and then she'll give me a burger. So probably like cost $70, right? And then I will have a change of 30 rand, right? So it feels good to have a change. Like, so the coins, bring the coins, right? So it feels good to have the coins. So I have the change of 30 rand. So this is the change, right? So and then at the same time, I gave her the money, she gave me the product. So she gave me the burger, right? And then at the same time, she gave me the change. So it feels good, right? I'm like, it's got that emotional reward, right? That you feel like you are part of something. Versus credit card. So when you get to the credit card, right? It's plastic. So this is just plastic. Nothing else. Just plastic, right? So plastic. So you go to the teller, you give her the plastic. So she takes your plastic and she gives you the product. So when she gives you the product, you feel rewarded. And at the same time, she gives you your plastic back the way that you gave her the plastic. So the way you gave her, it returns the same way. So at some point you feel like, damn, I'm actually robbing her because I gave her the plastic and she gives me back my plastic and she gives me the product at the same time. So you're like, wow. You know, it's that thing. You're not feeling the 100. You're not feeling it go away, right? You're not feeling the money. You're not just like giving it away. You don't see the 100, right? You only see the plastic. You don't see it. You don't. So, you know, studies have actually shown the MIT studies. So there's a guys, researchers at my MIT. They've actually shown that. So when you use a credit card at a restaurant, so you actually are most likely to pay 18, so to like 36% more. So 18 to 36% more that you'll pay. So if you were to pay 70 rand, you actually pay 18 to 36% more of it. So you pay more. For example, when you go to the teller, so you have a credit card. So she'll be like, sorry sis, they want the double cheese? You're like, yeah, put the double cheese, you know, put the double cheese. She's like, sorry, do you want large or medium? You're like, man, I'm too hungry. Give me the large, man. Give me the large. It's like, do you want extra sauce? Do you want extra spice on your fries? You're like, man, put that thing, man. I'm hungry. So you end up adding more and more and more and more because you don't see what is happening. See, so that's what corporate do. So they're pushing us to use credit card over cash because they know with the credit card we're actually going to use more. So they're channeling our behavior. So that's how it works. So the reason why I got broke is because I was using the credit card instead of cash. I never carry cash on me. Not anymore, because what? I want to be broke. So the reason why I got broke is because I was using credit card over cash. That's how I got broke. So that's not really the number one. So the number one reason. So the number one reason I would say, it's okay, just erase this one. Let's just break down the income, you know. So the income, let's just break it down. So just break down the income. So the income of a normal 27-year-old. So when you're like 27, so your income is probably, you know, it's between 200. So it's between 200 to like 350K. You know, so let's just assume it's like 200 to 350, right? So with this income, okay, let's just keep it simple because like now I'm thinking, let's just say keep it at 200 to like 300. So between 200 and 300 because now when you add 350, we're going to have a different tax rate and it's going to complicate things. So let's just keep it at 300. So 300, 200 to 300. So you make this. So average, so you probably make, on average per month, so you probably make, so let's say 300 divided by 12. So you probably make 25K, right? So this is 25K per month. And then this is per annum, right? So you make 25,000 per month, right? So this is the money that you make every month. But at the same time, so that money, you're actually not getting that money. So there is somebody who comes in, right? So they're like, oh, we gave you the 25, but we don't trust you that you bring our money back, right? So we'll just take it, right? So they come. So in the form of SARS, right? So SARS. So the government comes, and the government says, hey, man, we want that. We want the percent. We want the percent. So if you earn 200 to 300, so SARS will take roughly 26%. So they'll take roughly 26%. That's like 26% of 25. They'll take like 6,500. So it's a lot. Yo, tax is a lot. So tax, so 6,500. So they'll take 6,500. So that's the 26% of that 25, right? So they'll take this much. So now you are left with, how much are you left with? You are left with 18,500. So this is the money that you have, right? So this is the money that you have to spend. So with this money, you're like, let's say maybe you live or you work in the city. And average 27-year-old, you're like, man, living in the city, you're like maybe you're like a lawyer, a junior lawyer, or you're a doctor, or you are whatever you are, whatever you are. So anyway, so you're left with 18,500. So when you're left with 18,500, then let's say maybe you drive a car. So your car will roughly cost about you're a doctor. The bank will be like, no, man, you deserve like not a city car, not like Picanto, not like Quaid, not like no, you deserve like a 3 Series, or whatever, like a Mercedes. For me, I mean, they will get me with Mercedes. I'll probably like take the Mercedes for no reason. All right. Anyway, so probably get like 14%. So 14% of your total. So of your total, for 25% of your 25K. So you'll probably pay. So you probably pay around let's say 4 grand, right? So you pay around 4 grand. So you pay not 4 grand, but 3,500. So 3,500. So you pay 3,500 for this one. So when you pay 3,500, so in that case, then you say, okay, that's for the car. And then what about the rent? So what about the rent? So the rents will probably, let's say at most it takes 16%. So 16%, that's like 4,000. So that's like 4,000. So it takes 4,000. So it takes 4,000 from the 18,000 and this 3,500. So again, let's say maybe you have medical aid. So you have medical aid. So you have medical aid. So you have medical aid, and then medical aid probably takes at most, let's say maybe 10%. So it takes 10%. So and then of your salary, and then you got kids, man. You got kids. They got food. They have to eat. They have to go to school. They are children of a doctor or a lawyer. They need to go to a private school. So you realize all of a sudden that the car that you bought, is actually impeding you from taking your kids to private school. So you take your school out of private school. So let's just say, for example, at the end of the day, you are left with 5%, right? So you are left with 5% to spend throughout the month. So 5% is the one that you are left with to spend throughout the month. So it's like 5%, right? So let's say something happens. So can you live with 5% throughout the month? I mean, let's say you're a woman, you need to do your hair. When you're a man, you need, you need money for certain things, different things, right? So you always gotta you always have to have cash in your wallet when you're working. That's number one. So that is the 5%. So the 5% is not enough. So what do? So there's no longer income. So this is your income. So there's no longer money coming in. You go to someone and they borrow you, right? Like, man, I will give you the money at month end, right? So month end comes, the same cycle repeats. So this never ends. So the same cycle repeats. When it repeats, so you have to give the person their money back. So you take from the 5%, then you're left with nothing. Then you go to someone else, then you borrow. Then the cycle continues. Then boom, I am broke. This is a disaster. That's why somebody said adulting is a trap. So growing up is a trap. So when you grow up, start working, is a trap. So all of this, it's me right now, 27-year-old, and I'm broke, and I want to do something about it. I want to do something. I want to be a billionaire. So it means I have to do something about it. So let's do something about it. Let's do something about it. So just erase this part. So let's just do something about it. So just do something about it. Alright? So I'll just leave that one here. Alright. Number one. So I'm 27 and I'm broke. I want to do something about it. So let's say how to not be broke. Oh, yes. How not to be broke. That's the question. How? Right? So this is from my personal experience. I'm not saying when you take these steps that I'm about to show you, it's going to work for you. I'm saying it's now starting to work for me. Right? So how not to be broke. Step number one. The thing that made me broke was discipline. I didn't have no discipline whatsoever. For example, I've said before that when I'm craving for ice cream, just by looking at it, I'll go there and go and get the ice cream. Because now I had a job that can pay for it. So I'll just go. If I needed new sneakers, latest Nike, I'll go grab the Nikes. Look at my J's, man. Look at my Jordans. Like, just grab them, whatever. Because I can, I can afford them. I got the job, to pay for that thing. Most of the time, for a broke person, when they say they can afford something, they just mean they can make the payments. They don't necessarily mean they can afford it. So they just mean they can make payments. Payments, boom, credit cards. Credit cards, interest. Interest, voila. All just complicates things. All right. Number one, for me, so I needed some sort of a self-development plan. Self-development plan. So I needed a plan. So I needed to be disciplined. So it's like, just because I desire something doesn't mean I have to go after it. So the number one thing at self-development, you have to be all sorts of healthy. You have to be healthy. If you have to run, exercise. If you have to go to the gym, go to the gym. Clear your mind, because you have to be mentally, you have to be physically, you have to be psychologically, you have to be all sorts of healthy. Number one, because you cannot be in a hospital in and out and be a billionaire. You cannot be like having high cholesterol and be a billionaire. You cannot be having heart attack and be a billionaire, like in and out, because you have to stay focused. You have to be on top of your game. You have to be healthy. You see, I'm not saying billionaires don't have health problems. I'm not saying billionaires don't have heart attacks. I am saying people that wants to be billionaire should not have those normal things. Right? So they're normal things, because they need to take care of themselves extra. So you need to self-develop some sort of a self-development plan. So now I run. I used to run back in the day to de-stress. Now I'm running with a purpose, because now I want to be a billionaire. So when I'm running, I'm thinking, I'm having plans. I'm already, in my head, on this big head of mine, and I'm just thinking of things or ways that I can improve myself. So I need self-development. Then the second thing that you need is a target. Second thing is a target. So if you're, for example, your target is too low, then if, for example, you say your target is 1 million, you're not going to make 150 million. You're only going to make 1 million, because that was your target. So if your target is 50 million, then you're never going to make 51 million. You'll make 50 million, because that was your target. So my target for this year, for example, let's say you have it this year. So this year, I'm having a realistic target. So this year, I already told my wife, I was like, okay, this year I want to make 500,000. Because in order for me to be a billionaire, I first have to be a thousandaire. I have to be a millionaire, and before I can be that billionaire. So I'm saying next year I'm making 500,000. I'm gonna make 500,000 before December ends next year, right? So I'm just started. I'm broke, and I'm saying I'm gonna make 500,000. I have to find ways in order to get to my target. So, for example, the people that I'm talking to, the people that I'm communicating, the people that are constantly texting my phone, that are constantly calling my phone, are they adding to my target? Are they contributing to my target? I mean, if you're not contributing to my target, I'm sorry. I have to be disciplined. I have to be disciplined and say, hey man, like, I can no longer have normal conversation, man. I can no longer, like, hey, HUD, WUD, like, where you were, I can no longer have such conversation. I'm trying to make 1 million. I'm trying to be a billionaire. So I can no longer have such conversation. I have to be more resilient. So if you're communicating with me, if you're talking to me, you need to add value. You need to add more. Are you adding to my target? Or you're wasting my time? Because I want to be a billionaire. I'm tired of being broke. I'm tired of being normal. Because normal people are broke. They'll tell you it's life. Life is hard because they're broke. But the weird ones, the not so normal people, they're rich. So that's where I want to get. So you get a target, realistic target, and then you do ways to achieve your target. Thirdly, so with the target, so now let's just continue. So the target now, let's say you have that 25,000. So 25, 200, yeah. So 25,000. right? So it's the 25,000, and we know that the 26% goes to SARS. So the 26% goes to SARS. And then now, in order for you to become that billionaire, what I know for sure is that I need to be able to save 40%. So 40% goes to storage. So if I can get to this level, whew, Lord have mercy. So if I can, of my salary, of the 25, if I can be able to save up 40%, if I can save 40% and put it in storage, goddamn, I've achieved it. Trust me, I'm going to be a billionaire in the next couple of years. Because I'm going to take this one, of which I'll put in a moment. So 40%. So what I'm left with, so this one is going to be 66%. Then I'm left with 34%, which is virtually impossible. I cannot live on 34%. I cannot live on 34%. I got medical bills. I got car payments. I got a house payment. I got kids. I cannot live on 34%. Right? So what do I do with the 40%? Because money, you cannot store money. Money is useless when you store money. Because money, cash, if you store 1,000, so if you store 1,000, 10 years later, it will be 1,000. It will remain 1,000. Because money is money. Cash it doesn't change. So you need to do something. Because if you put 1,000, 10 years later, it will be 1,000. So the only difference will be the value of it. So the value, the 1,000 will be 1,000, but the value of that 1,000 won't be the same 10 years from now. It's called inflation, right? Right. So what do? So you cannot store it. So you take your storage, the 40% storage, and you invest. The Bible will tell you need to invest in different places. So you need to invest. So when it comes to investment, so you need to do investment. So you store your 40% and you do investment. So with the investment, I'll tell you like a personal story, a very sad personal story, right? So in 2015, I was investing 15,000. So I invested 15,000 with a particular bank for 3 years. So with a particular bank for 3 years. You know how much I made? In that 3 years, I made 308 rand. In 3 years, I made 300. I'm like, what? Is this a joke? 15,000 investment and I only made 308. Like, what the heck? This is a joke. And then I didn't know this before, but now I know that. I did some research. So research says, in order for the bank to double your money, so for the bank to double your money, you invest with the bank to double your money, it will take 833 years. I know, right? 833 years for the bank to actually double your money. That's a lot. You're not even going to live that long. I mean, come on. The bank is not going to be there 800 years from now. It's not going to be there. Who knows what could change in the future? We don't know. We probably will be using bitcoins or whatever we'll be using. I don't know. So it's there. So 800. So you need to invest in different places, not in just one. So if this was 2015 today, this 15,000, I'll break it down into, I'll chop it, and put it in different places, as the Bible suggested. That's how it works. Different places, then it grows in different places, right? So the fourth thing, so you realize that you cannot live on the 34%. So you need to increase the 34%. How do you increase the 34%? By starting a business. So you start a business. Right. So by starting a business. So with the starting of business, I'll come and do videos later on how to start a business in South Africa and all that, how to register and everything else. All right. So you need to start a business. So because this business, what it will do is that it will increase your income. So this percent, so 34%, you probably take it high. It will double it. Probably you have like 60% or 80% more that you can now spend. Right? So you start a business. And then the last thing, you need to hang around professionals. So if you're an entrepreneur, hang around entrepreneurs. If you want to be a corporate lawyer, hang around corporate lawyers. If you want to be motivational speaker, hang around the professionals in your area, in the business that you have started. So if your mentors, your inspiration, because for me, of which I'm going to do videos later on, is going to be me chilling with my mentor. So chilling with my mentor. So my biggest mentor. So we're chilling with him. Then I'm gonna do a series of videos, as time goes on. So now this is my plan. So this is my plan that I'm actually working on. So if the biggest thing, if I can get here with all my debt and everything else, if I can get here. So I think I left something that is very important as for South African. For a South African, 27-year-old. So you got 25K, a month. Then you got SARS. Before I'm adding other personal things like medical aid or whatever, there is something that is also important. Student loan. I forgot to mention, student loan is a killer. Even today, I'm still paying my student loan. So I'm still paying my student loan. So I'm still making my payments. Student loan, right? So this is a killer. So for a black child, you go to school with a massive debt. So when you get a job, you're not starting working on yourself. You're not starting on the 40% that you can invest. You're not starting on the 34% that you can use. First of all this doesn't make sense because now you still have to pay your student loan. Anyway, so this is my plan. So if you want to follow it, we can follow it together. So by the way, this whole target, so this whole plan is a 2-year plan. So it's a 2-year plan. So after 2 years, I should be over this limit. So after 2 years, I should at least have doubled this. So in 2 years, I should be a millionaire. So in 2 years, I should be a billionaire. By these numbers that I've worked out, by these numbers, in 2 years, I should be a billionaire. And that's, if it works together. So let us do it together. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, I don't know.